There's a lot to consider when buying an enclosed trailer, so much so that it can honestly become pretty overwhelming. Today, we're breaking down everything you need to know when choosing the perfect trailer for your needs, from frame construction to size, weight capacity, and even the extra costs that you might not expect. So let's dive right in. First up, let's talk about the foundation of your trailer, the frame. The material of the frame will affect its durability, weight, and longevity. Steel frames are often heavier and much more durable, which can be great for carrying heavy loads, but they're also prone to rust over time. They're going to be more widely available than aluminum frame trailers, though, and they'll also have a lower price tag typically. Aluminum, on the other hand, is lightweight, doesn't rust, is significantly light, and is great for lighter loads. It also helps you get better fuel efficiency when towing. While aluminum is a lot weaker than steel, aluminum frame trailers are engineered to hold up to whatever weight the trailer is rated for. So you really aren't losing out on much, if anything, with how sturdy the trailer is going to be with an aluminum frame. So if you live in a place with a lot of snow and salt on the roads, you might want to consider an aluminum trailer because of the corrosion resistance. But outside of that, it's really going to come down more to preference than anything. Next, let's talk about the spacing of the framing. You'll see trailers with different center spacing. Typically, they're 16 or 24 inches. 16-inch centers are stronger and more commonly found in higher-end trailers, especially for heavy-duty use. This spacing is often seen in the floor and wall studs, giving extra support and rigidity. On the other hand, 24-inch centers are more common in budget-friendly trailers, which are okay for lighter uses but might not hold up as well under heavy stress. My personal rule of thumb is that 24-inch centers are fine for the roof, but for the walls and floor, I don't like anything less than 16 inches. Now, let's talk about exterior panels. The thickness of these panels plays a major role in the durability and overall strength of your trailer. Panels typically range from thicknesses of point I can't talk. Panels are typically going to range from 0.024 to 0.080 in thickness, with 024 panels being the thinnest and lightest, but also the least durable. It's often found in smaller, budget-friendly trailers. 030 panels are a mid-range thickness that offers a good balance between weight and durability, making them great for everyday use. And then there's the 080 panels, which are much stronger and much thicker, perfect for those looking for a more rugged, long-lasting trailer that will withstand more wear and tear. They will also be made of polycore typically, which is a much stronger material than aluminum. And 080 panels also look much better than the other thicknesses because they have less waves. On top of those things, polycore is actually going to be even lighter than aluminum panels. And so while it will be a little bit more expensive, it may be worth the upgrade. Don't overlook the plywood used in your trailer's construction though. Plywood thicknesses and quality can vary greatly. For flooring, you want something sturdy like 3/4-inch plywood. This will give you the support you need, especially when carrying heavy cargo. Thinner plywood like 1/2 inch might save you some weight and cost, but it can also reduce durability and support, especially under heavy loads. Also, don't automatically write off trailers that use OSB. Some trailer brands like Cross Trailers use OSB wood that is designed specifically for trailers. It's not the OSB board that you would go buy at your local It's not the OSB board that you would go buy at your local I can't say lumber yard. It's not the OSB board that you would go buy at your local lumber yard. This stuff is waterproof and much stronger than standard plywood. Next up, one of the most important factors, weight capacity, or GVWR, which stands for gross vehicle weight rating. GVWR refers to the total weight your trailer can safely carry, including the weight of the trailer itself, cargo, and any additional equipment. But don't confuse that with payload capacity, which is just the weight of the cargo itself, excluding the trailer's own weight. I'm so cold. So, when you're choosing a trailer, make sure the GVWR gives you enough room for both the trailer's weight and your gear. Now, let's talk about the axles. Should you go for a single axle or a tandem axle trailer? A single axle is lighter, less expensive, and perfect for lighter loads or occasional use. But if you need to haul heavier gear or plan on long distance towing, a tandem axle trailer offers more stability, a higher weight capacity, and better handling on the road. For most people, tandem axles are going to be the better choice, especially if you're planning on carrying heavy loads frequently or want some added towing stability. Single axle trailers definitely have their place, though, especially if you're going to be pulling it behind something like an SUV. Next, let's look at the roof. This can make a big difference depending on your needs. There are going to be two main types of roofs, which are multi-piece and one-piece. Most of the time, a multi-piece roof is going to be fine because the way they build them, you typically won't have issues with leaking. However, that's not to say you won't have issues. If you're concerned about your trailer roof leaking, you should definitely consider a one-piece roof. One more thing to consider is whether or not the roof is galvalume or aluminum. While galvalume is going to hold up pretty well, it's not perfect and can have issues if left out in the elements. Personally, I would suggest an aluminum roof, if at all possible, to keep from having issues. Size is also a big consideration. Trailers come in all different lengths and heights, typically ranging from 4 by 6 feet to 8.5 by 24 feet and beyond. Choosing the right size depends on what you need to haul. For light duty uses, a smaller trailer is perfect, but if you need to haul a larger load or equipment, opt for a bigger size. As a rule of thumb, get a size bigger than you think you'll need. People rarely wish they had gotten a smaller trailer, but people frequently wish they had gotten a bigger one. Inside your trailer, there are a few features you'll want to keep an eye on. First, lighting. Most trailers today are going to come with LED lights as a standard, and for good reason. You'll specifically want to look at where the lights are placed, though. Do you have a single light or multiple? Do you have a light on the wall or on the ceiling? Depending on what you're doing with it, your lighting needs may be different, but it's always a good idea to make sure your trailer is going to have the lighting you'll dang it. Depending on what you're doing with it, your lighting needs may be different, but it's always a good idea to make sure your trailer is going to have the lighting you'll need or the option of adding a light later on if you find that you want one. Next on the list is vents. Vents help with air circulation, preventing moisture buildup and reducing odors inside the trailer. How important your vents are will be determined by the climate where you live. However, having adequate ventilation is going to be important no matter what. And if you're looking for temperature control, check for insulation. Insulated trailers help maintain consistent temperatures, which is especially important if you're transporting sensitive cargo. While it won't maintain the temperature perfectly, a thermocool roof can help keep the interior a few degrees cooler, especially if you live in an area where the temperatures get really high during the summer. I'm tired of walking back and forth. When it comes to brakes, almost all enclosed trailers are going to have electric brakes, if they have brakes at all. Electric brakes are pretty common on heavier trailers and offer better control and safety, especially when towing long distances. Not all trailers will come with brakes, however, and some will come with brakes on a single axle, while others will come with brakes on both axles. The number of brakes that you need will be determined by the weight of the cargo that you'll be carrying. If you're unsure what brakes you need, I would recommend always going with more. Getting double brake axles doesn't cost much more, and you're better off having them and not needing them than needing them and not having them. Finally, let's talk about the hidden costs that might pop up when buying your trailer. All dealerships will charge a dock fee for processing paperwork, though some are more upfront about it than others. Some dealerships claim to have no dock fee, but in reality, their dock fee is just worked into the price of their trailers. Other dealerships won't tell you about their dock fee at all and will beat around the bush when asked about it. What I personally prefer is dealerships who are just upfront with you about it and tell you when you're pricing the trailer that the price will include a dock fee of such and such amount. No matter your preference, though, make sure to know what your out-the-door price is before you agree to anything. Also, you don't want to forget about sales tax. In most states, the out-the-door price won't include sales tax because you pay that when you go to the DMV and get your tags for the trailer, just like if you were buying a car. So be sure to ask about all additional I'm freezing. So be sure to ask about all additional fees up front so there are no surprises when you're ready to finalize your purchase. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.